Hey, what's up guys? Hope you all doing good today. Thanks for tuning back into the channel, and today I'm going to share with you guys one of my longtime secrets. Well, it's not really secret, but I don't think a lot of people really realize how effective this particular structure can be, and that's boat ramps. Boat ramps, if they're well known to a lot of guys, that fish, tournaments or just fishing in general. They're a pretty popular structure, but I don't think a lot of people realize how good they really are. There's been 2 tournaments in my career, Bassmaster Top 150 tournaments, one at Lake Murray and one at Lake Norman, where I finished in the top 10 in the tournament, basically fishing exclusively boat ramps. And, every lake's different on that. Some lakes, a lot of the lakes that have a lot of commercial and residential shoreline development have a lot of private docks, and the docks specific, or the ramps I'm talking specifically about, a lot of them are the private docks, but I mean the private ramps, but also just the public ramps can be really good on top of that. But there's some tricks to fishing them. There's some tricks to maximizing the efficiency and the productivity of these ramps. So I'm going to pull up to a ramp here, and I'm going to give you a complete seminar on how to understand, how to break down, and when and how you want to fish these boat ramps. So here we go. Okay guys, here we have, this is a public boat ramp here, but this will give you a good idea what I'm talking about, because you can really duplicate it on a private one too. And what you need to understand, the first thing that I want to really share with you guys is to understand a little bit about how the ramp is constructed, because this tells you a lot about where the fish can be on it. Now, the main part of the ramp here, the concrete part, most of the time this goes out into the water, 20 to 40 feet, just depending upon the lake you're at. And the ramp itself can be a key area. The ramp itself, and first of all, ramps are good all year long. You can catch bass off them 12 months out of the year, but specifically there's different parts of the ramp that are going to be better at certain times. The ramp itself, the concrete ramp itself, you're going to have your best success on this basically in the pre-spawn, when that water temperature starts to get around 50 degrees. A lot of these fish will get on these ramps because it holds heat, and you can actually catch them off the bare ramp itself, just the concrete on there, on various depths. Also in warmer weather, like in the summertime and the fall, it's good early in the morning, but in the pre-spawn, when that water temperature is still a little bit cool, you can catch them all day long on the concrete. Now also what you have on this, as you can't really see on this one, but the corners of the ramp here, if I can get in the water here and show you right there, you can see where the ramp right there turns to rock. This corner right here, a lot of times all the way out in front of the ramp, there's like a pile of rock. When they've constructed the thing, it's almost like maybe comes up a foot or two on both sides of the ramp. They're like that, and they extend all the way out. Now this transition area from the actual concrete to the rock is another key area. This is one of the things you want to target. And finally, and this is there's 2 elements, as far as a lot of people don't know this, but the area out where the ramp actually drops off, where it ends, is a key area, because there's 2 different situations there. You have a situation where the water, the ramp drops off and there's a break, but also on some shallower ramps you have a situation where the prop wash has created a hole underneath on the edge of the ramp, sometimes up to 2 to 3 feet, and there's a little depression at the end of the ramp there, and they will set in that depression a lot. So basically you have 3 key areas on the ramp. You have the concrete ramp itself, the face of the ramp, you have the rock transition on the corners of the ramp or on the sides of it, and then you have the drop off and the washout on the very end of the ramp. Now, all these can be good depending upon several different factors: your water clarity, water temperature, and the angle of the boat ramp and how quick it drops off. All that stuff adds up as far as making it a good element. Ideally, the water clarity that I like to have when I'm fishing boat ramps is around 2 feet. If you've got 2 foot of visibility, it seems like a lot of bass will use those ramps in those conditions all year long, although you can catch them in 6 inches of visibility or even clearer. But another thing you want to remember is your casting angle is critical on this too. Normally when I approach a dock, or I keep calling them docks, when I approach a boat ramp, the first cast I make is straight into the ramp on the concrete itself from a long distance away. I make 2-3 casts on the concrete ramp itself, and then I'll come down and I'll hit the sides of them where the rock's at. And the reason I don't go for the sides right off the bat is a lot of times if you're throwing a crankbait, you'll get hung up on the sides, and I don't want to get hung up on the first couple casts. So that's why, you know, I go for the ramp. And then my third casting angle is I get parallel to the outside part of the ramp, and I cast parallel to that drop off on the ramp, and I try to hit that depression that's on the end of the ramp, or the actual part where the boat ramp drops off, you know, just on the natural bottom like that. So casting angles is key on that too. And another thing about that is make sure you make repeated casts on a boat ramp. You know, these fish live around this thing, and I found out that very rarely will they hit it on the first cast. Most of the time I'll make 6 or 7 casts around it. Lure selection, again, it's based upon water clarity, water temperature. I found out that you can catch them on about anything, and to me, again, it's a clarity thing. If I'm fishing water visibility that's like under 12 inches deep, something like that, a spinnerbait or a you know, some type of a shallow running crankbait is going to be pretty good. If the water visibility is over 2 foot, especially if the water is a little bit cleaner, jerkbait's one of my favorite baits. You know, just fishing a jerkbait all around the end of that ramp. A shaky head's real good, a swing head jig, just crawling it on the bottom, football head jig, fishing out a little bit deeper, and you know, possibly a wacky rig too, like in the springtime of the year, this time of year. But one of the big things on that is if you have a lake that has a lot of ramps on it, you know, just get on Google Earth and survey the lake and get a feel for how many ramps that they have on there, because you can actually pattern these things. And I never pass them up, man. If I see a ramp, a lot of times I always hit it. I mean, they're fish magnets. They're sort of like bridge pilings that we talked about a little bit before. You know, they hold fish almost all year round. They do get fished a lot, but again, it's just like the bridge pilings. It's all timing. And there's a reason why bass use stuff like pilings and boat ramps, is because they're just good ambush points. They're good feeding areas. The boat ramps, for the most part, you know, a lot of times there's rock or riprap around them, so they're great areas for crawdads to hide out in. Bass like to spawn around them. Bass like to spawn around them too, but also shad like to spawn around them. And one of the reasons I like to fish boat ramps when that water temperature is above 60 degrees, like into the summer, is you have a ton of bluegills hanging around them. If you guys have ever looked at a boat ramp in the summertime, you'll see bluegills everywhere around them, and bass are there, you know, feeding on those bluegills. So anyway, that's just a few tips, guys. You probably, a lot of you guys may already know this. It may not be a secret, but for some of you that have not had success on it, you know, give it a try. Use some of these tips, and I promise you it'll add up to some more fish. So talk to you guys later and see you.